Hello Ramen Nation, Chris Cobain here, and it is finally that time again. The NPA, the National Pokemon Association, is back, Season 3, and of course, I am making a comeback this season, and we just did the draft. The draft is completely over now. All the picks have been made, and I'm here, guys, to officially announce on my YouTube all 11 Pokemon playing for me this year. Why I picked them, all that fun stuff. You guys know how analysis goes. I've already done them before. Couple of things to note real quick. Number one, I don't know if you can tell or not, I'm sick. I haven't actually streamed all week prior to this, and I've had a pretty bad cold slash flu thing going down, which kind of sucks. So if I cough here and there, guys, I do really apologize. I've got a bottle of water next to me, so I will be drinking that anytime I feel like I need to. So if there's little breaks in me talking or something to that effect, just know that's why. Number two, to the left of the screen, you can see the tiering list. It goes Tier 1, Tier 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, S, free. The 5 and the S look incredibly similar because of the font being used. They are different. So just keep in mind, the first one is actually Tier 5. The second one right above the first free is actually Tier S. You don't really have to worry about any of that stuff. It's a bunch of semi-complicated NPA stuff there to do with drafting, so it's balanced. I had to worry about it. All you guys really have to worry about is I drafted the Pokemon that you're going to be seeing on the stream, or on the YouTube video, sorry. And finally, this will be an incredibly long video. It'll probably be close to an hour. At least the other one, the one I did last season, was like an hour long. So if you don't have that kind of time, trust me, I completely understand. If you go ahead and skip to almost the end of the video here, you'll actually just see the entire list of Pokemon. You'll miss my analysis on all of them, stat pools, move sets, why I drafted them, that kind of stuff. But if that's not a big deal to you, which it doesn't have to be, then go ahead and just skip to the almost the very end. And you will see the entire team in its entirety. You can move on with your life. But for those of you who do want to stick around, I appreciate it, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the draft. So as I mentioned, the tiers are 1 through 5. You get 2 4s, and then you get your Tier S and 4 free picks. Makes the draft pretty balanced so that you can't just go ahead and draft a bunch of super over-the-top Pokemon and be like, my team's unstoppable. So you got to pick value when you get a chance. It's all about drafting smart. And as you guys know, I mentioned this a lot last year, the number one thing I look for most of the time when I go into this kind of stuff is versatility. Pokemon that can do more than one thing and can do them well. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the first draft pick. By the way, of course, I'm no longer the Baltimore Blazigans. We switched the team name to the Philadelphia Braviaries. A shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously my favorite sports team, as most of you probably know. The logo is absolutely awesome, as you can see in the bottom right there. Crazy good. Anyway, first pick of the draft. If you guys watch the draft, you've seen all of these. It starts off strong with the first pick, which is Mega Scizor. There's not a whole lot you can say about Mega Scizor that people don't already know. Taking a look into his stats, he's got 70 HP, 150 attack is insane, 140 defense is also insane, 100 special defense, which is great, and 75 speed. Mega Scizor is quite possibly is absolutely one of the best Megas in the game, maybe the best, due to what it does. He obviously has Light Metal when he's regular Scizor. We'll probably running Light Metal when we run Mega Scizor, just because he has to make a turn 1, so there's no reason to run Tech on regular Scizor, so he'll obviously Mega into Technician. His attacks are pretty straightforward. Most people know what they are. Bullet Punch and U-Turn obviously are huge. Most sets run that. Knockoff and Superpower. He gets Pursuit to Pursuit Trap. He gets X-Scissor in case you don't want to pivot out sometimes. Night Slash as well. And then his status attacks are pretty obvious as well. He gets Swords Dance and Agility. Not a ton of people run that. He gets Roost. He also gets the Fog. And obviously he gets substituted for looking to run some kind of like sub Swords Dance set on like some more bulky Pokemon. Like I said, though, he's one of the best Megas in the game. His attack stat incredible. His defense stat, incredible. He has the ability to wall break incredibly easily with that Technician Bullet Punch plus the 150 attack, meaning his 75 speed, which is kind of low, makes it pretty irrelevant because of the fact that he can just Bullet Punch a lot of things to death. His move pool seems kind of light, it's actually deceptively big. He covers most things very, very well, despite the fact he doesn't get a massive amount of attacks. He does have the right moves that help him cover things very, very well. And of course, he's only got that singular weakness in fire typing, which is obviously something that we will need to cover in the draft. But because of that single weakness, if you can keep away from fire attacks, this thing is quite possibly the best offensive wall in the game, being able to run that Swords Dance Brew set insanely effectively, being able to wall off tons of things, Swords Dance in their face, or just chip them really well with Bullet or U-Turn or whatever else they got. Tier 1, or not Tier 1, but Tier S, he's got to be my first pick in the draft. Your first pick needs to be what anchors your team, and I really feel like Scizor will do a phenomenal job at doing just that. So, going into round 2 here, we wanted to pick something that comboed incredibly well with Scizor, and to be completely honest with you, I think we may have picked the best Pokemon that combos with Mega Scizor here. That Pokemon is our Tier 2 pick this draft, and rivaling Garchomp last season as the ground dragon type, we continue that this time with your boy Zygarde at 50%. Zygarde 50% rocks at a massive 108 HP, 100 attack, 121 defense is insane. A very solid, actually, 81 special attack, we'll get into that in a second. 95 special defense, which is also good. 95 speed. Obviously, his only ability we're running is Aura Break, which is completely irrelevant because Zygarde and, or not Zygarde, but Xerneas and Veltal are not in the game, are not allowed, obviously. Power Construct, obviously, is banned, so that's not a big deal. Attack moves, 1,000 arrows, obviously, Earthquake, Outrage, Crunch, Dragon Tail, Extreme Speed, Draco Meteor, and it also gets Sludge Wave, actually, which is sort of interesting. Not something we're gonna run, probably not, but Tapu Bulu's a thing. Just putting that out there. He also gets Dragon Dance, Coil, Substitute, obviously, again, Haze, and he also gets, which is actually interesting, he also gets Rest Talk, Rest and Sleep Talk. He also gets things like Toxic. So in Gen 6, XY, ORAS, Zygarde was underwhelming, I guess I could say. Definitely an underwhelming Pokemon, because his move pool, it's not that great, in all honesty. Most of them were pretty much forced to run just Earthquake and Outrage, obviously, and then Extreme Speed, and then you were kind of limited from there. So he was a little underwhelming as a Pokemon, especially considering his insane stat pool. But in Gen 7, that's gone out the window because move pools don't mean crap to Zygarde anymore because of one singular change, and that is 1,000 Arrows. 1,000 Arrows is maybe the most broken move to ever exist? Possibly? It's ridiculous. So if you don't know, 1,000 Arrows is a physical ground attack. It is only 90 base power as opposed to Earthquake's 100. It has 100% accuracy just like Earthquake. So right off the bat, you're like, Earthquake's stronger, but it isn't because you literally cannot be immune to 1,000 Arrows. It hits flying types, it hits levitators, even for good measure, hits air balloon users. And furthermore, it knocks down those Pokemon as well. So if you look into a Pokemon, we'll just go into one of the most meta Pokemon right now, Celesteela, who is Steel Flying. The first 1,000 Arrows will hit for neutral damage, but knock Celesteela down, and the second 1,000 Arrows is actually super effective playing on that Steel type. Excuse me a second. I needed to cough there. My apologies, guys. But you literally are unable to be immune to 1,000 Arrows, meaning he can pretty much just spam that move whenever he wants to. He's absolutely insane. For the few Pokemon that can deal with it, typically end up being Grass type. Not a ton of them can deal with Dragon, especially Outrage. And for that one Pokemon I mentioned before, and Tapu Bulu actually gets Sludge Wave, which is quad super effective, so why not? Very, very, very effective at running setup sets. Both Dragon Dance and Coil sets are absolutely insane. The subsets are ridiculous. He can be very bulky with a Toxic Rest set, something that can very much be done. But the thing about this guy is a lot of teams will be basing their ground immunities on their core. There'll be teams that have like a ground immunity that's like, it's okay, I'm not weak to ground, I've got Celesteela, you know, Skarmory, whatever, you know, you name a Pokemon, this will really help me deal with ground types. Wrong! Zygarde is the one Pokemon that laughs at that. Pokemon like Celesteela, like Skarm, any flying type, Crobat, or anything of that effect that really someone's like, we don't have a problem with ground. Wrong. You may not have a problem with ground in general, but you have a problem with 1,000 Arrows. He will be run on pretty much every one of my teams, probably, and he'll run 1,000 Arrows every single week, and I will just challenge people to stop it. And by the way, like I said, the one thing that really does handle 1,000 Arrows really, really well is both Bug and Grass types, which, by the way, are mostly setup fodder for Scizor. So like I said, it really felt like this was a really good combination with Scizor. And he's going to be insane this year. 100% going to be insane. So that jumps us into round 3. As you already may have noticed, we have a core going already here with the Steel and Dragon. So we were looking into a Fairy for round 3. We were looking into Clefable, it got drafted. We were looking into Togekiss, it got drafted. So we were kind of like, no really great fairies left. Azumarill was taken as well. Obviously the Tapus are all gone at this point. Not that matters, they're all tier S. So we kind of figured that we could save our fairy for a later pick and decided to jump for our tier 1 pick and take what we felt was the greatest offensive threat in the entirety of tier 1, and that is going to be Thundurus Therian. Thundurus Therian is the Volt Absorb one. He's the more offensive of the two. Thundurus Incarnate obviously is the prankster version. Therian is a little bit slower than Incarnate, but I do believe that Thundurus Therian is a little bit better overall than Incarnate is. So right off the bat, he's got a solid 105 attack, a solid 101 speed, and an absolutely ludicrous 145 special attack. Obviously, his ability is Volt Absorb. Check this moveset out. This is ridiculous. Thunderbolt and Thunder, Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, and Sludge Wave, Focus Blast, Volt Switch, Grass Knot, Flash Cannon, Psychic, Superpower, Knockoff, U-Turn, Wild Charge, and Iron Tail. Excuse me again. Being sick sucks. That moveset is absolutely ridiculous. He can do everything. Absolutely everything. If there's a Pokemon in existence, he destroys it. It's ridiculous. Chansey? Superpower. Who cares, right? Chansey or Blissey, superpower. Clefable, Iron Tail. Who cares? You can run a Hidden Power Ice if you're really fearing a ground type that bad. He's got such insane coverage on top of the fact that he's rocking that 145 special attack, as I mentioned, and the 105 attack. He also, for good measure, gets Thunder Wave, obviously, Taunt, Bulk Up if you're wanting to run a kind of frisky leftover set. And how about Nasty Plot and Agility? My man's running a double dance set. Ridiculous. He can set up Nasty Plot and one-hit most of the game. He can set up Agility and be faster than basically the entire game. And to me, maybe the best draft Pokemon there is. Tornadus Therian is actually a little bit stronger. It's a little bit faster, but the difference between Thundurus Therian and Tornadus Therian is that Thundurus Therian sets up, like I said, Nasty Plot, Agility. Not really things Tornadus is really doing. It doesn't get Nasty Plot. It doesn't get Swords Dance either. So Thundurus actually ends up becoming a better attacker because of that. Not to mention the fact that this guy is allowed to run Z Crystals. Do not forget, Z Crystals are a thing, and they are not banned. Certain Z moves are banned, but not all of them. Only really broken ones like Conversion and things like that. So this guy running like an offensive set with a Z Electric move, you know, completely plausible. and something that we will probably be doing at some point in the season. So with this guy's versatility, his insane special attack, his really good attack, his really good speed, and his insane setup ability, a Pokemon that will 100% terrify pretty much every opponent we come across this season. Everyone's going to have to 100% game plan for Thundurus and how in the world they're going to stop this incredible monster. We can obviously game plan perfectly for the opponent's Pokemon, pick the exact perfect move set, and then go from there. This guy's going to be insane. Can't wait to use him. Might be Team MVP. Might be. But we have something else coming up that might be Team MVP as well. We'll see. So going into round 4 here, we've got a really solid core going here. Again, we kind of felt like we could steer clear of fairies for a while, so we're gonna continue to do that. We wanted to look into solid hazard control. We obviously already have Scizor, but Mega Scizor not really the best defogger. Regular Scizor is the one that typically does that. So we wanted to look into hazard control, and we got one of the better hazard controllers, I feel like, in the game, and that is going to be your boy Empoleon. Empoleon is a really, really fun Pokemon to use. I've used him quite a lot. He's a staple of UU, was in OROS huge. So I've definitely used him quite a lot, and he's one of my favorite Pokemon. Definitely one of my favorite Pokemon. 84 HP is really good. 88 defense, 111 special attack, which is great. 101 special defense was great. And an actually shocking 86 attack, which is a little surprising. It actually caught me off guard when I saw that. Abilities are obviously Torrent, which is what he'll be using the most, and Defiant, which will, that's interesting. Defiant obviously raises your attack by 2 if any stats lowered. Something to keep in mind. Attacks for him are obviously Scald. He'll be running that most weeks. Hydro Pump, Flash Cannon, Stab, Ice Beam, and Blizzard. It gets Grass Knot, which is really good. And then check out this physical move pool, which actually is crazy to me. He gets Waterfall and Aqua Jet. He gets Earthquake. He gets Rock Slide, and he gets Knockoff. That's a really, really good physical move pool, have you know. For status, everyone knows he gets Stealth Rocks and a Fog. He gets Roar, making one of the very, very few Pokemon in the game that can Hazard Control, and Phase. He gets Swords Dance, another thing to really pay attention to, and he gets Agility. So a double dance set. Why not? Empoleon is an absolutely insane support Pokemon. As I mentioned, one of the very, very few Pokemon that can do the rocks, the hazard control, and phase Pokemon at the same time. His move pool does everything he needs it to. Scald is obviously an insane utility move. That burn chance is stupid. Excuse me. That burn chance is absolutely stupid. No one likes Scald. Everyone hates Scald. And I've been pointed out, his physical set is kind of interesting. Now, I'm not saying we're going to run that. We might run a physical set 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks this year, if at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't run one ever. But you can't discount the fact that this guy actually can run a pretty solid physical move set with Swords Dance, with Aqua Jet, with Defiant. Maybe run it against a person, maybe with a Sticky Web team, or against a team where I really feel like we have a chance of getting a stat drop to where we can get him +2 attack, and then go off with a Swords Dance Aqua Jet set or something like that, with some knockoff there. That's pretty crazy. If we can catch a team off guard, it could be something that they have a really hard time stopping. But obviously, for the most part, this guy's just going to be a really good wall, really good rocker, really good defogger, phasing out setup sweepers. Fully expect him to run Chookaberry a couple times this season so we can mitigate his ground weakness. That's definitely going to be something we're going to be looking to do. And look for him to do a lot of damage, chip a lot of things, burn some things, set up really solid kills for the other Pokemon team. Definitely a Pokemon I'm excited about using, and should be a solid pick for the team. So, this one's fun. Round 5. I mentioned when I said Thundurus that there's another Pokemon that might be Team MVP, and I'm not going to lie, this is the one. This very well might be Team MVP. Last season we had Drapion be like a low-key MVP for the team. This season, maybe not low-key. This Pokemon's actually broken, and it's actually in Tier 3, which I fully disagreed with, but it was there, so I take it. Take a look at my boy Doug Trio. I love this guy. We're only going to look at 2 stats. 120 speed is great, and a boosted 100 attack. He used to have 80, they buffed it to 100. It's insane. He gets 3 abilities, I think. I don't give a crap. We're only running Arena Trap all year. Moveset, pretty simple. Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Rock Slide. You get Sucker Punch, Pursuit for the things that can't be trapped, Ghosts, and Flying types. Namely, Aerial Ace for a few Siffer Pokemon, Shadow Claw for a few Pokemon. Actually gets Reversal as well. Excuse me, sorry for this, guys. I know it's annoying. And his status is Stealth Rock, obviously. Hone Claws, which is good. Substitute, and a very interesting Memento. So at face value, Dugtrio seems like, well, trash, to be honest. His stats, trash for the most part. His moveset, pretty bad. It's not the worst. But it's definitely not all that great. It definitely seems like a weird Pokemon to run. But when you really look into him and you look at that Arena Trap, I will tell you one thing. Trapping very well may be the most broken mechanic to ever rear its ugly head in singles battling. Trapping Pokemon is stupid. It's such a dumb mechanic. It does everything you need it to. Got a threat? Who cares? Trap it. It dies. There's nothing they can do about it. It's so dumb. I don't even know why it was implemented in the game. It's so stupid. When this thing combos with Mega Scizor, my opponent's going to be like, what's okay? Scizor's not a big deal. Got a fire type. Switch it in. I U-turned. Crap. Dugtrio's here. I'm trapped. GG. That's pretty much how it goes. This thing's going to be absolutely huge this season. It's going to trap so many things. I've already looked through a lot of my opponents. I'm not going to say it here because I don't want to like give anything away, obviously, for other NPA coaches who might be watching. But I've looked into my opponents' teams already, and I've seen quite a few Pokemon that might be threats to the team, except for the fact that as soon as I trap them, they're dead, and there's nothing they can do about it, which is hilarious. And as I mentioned, this guy gets Memento. Memento is going to be really big on this team. I feel like Memento obviously will make Dugtrio faint, but will drop the target's stats by 3 a piece, or their attacks by 3, I should say. Both attacks drop by 3, which will allow me to bring in, just from what we've seen already, it allows me to bring in Scizor to Swords Dance. It allows me to bring on Zygarde to eat the Substitute and set up Coils or Dragon Dances. And it allows Thunders to come in and set up Nasty Plots or Agilities because the opposing Pokemon have no offensive pressure anymore. That's insane. I cannot wait to use this guy. Like I said, pretty good chance he's team MVP just by the threats he's gonna trap and destroy. Opposing teams are gonna have to do a lot to work around this guy. I expect to see some Shed Shells this season. But if we do, we do. Dugtrio is going to be huge either way. Cannot wait. Huge pick for me. Super happy to have him on the team. So now, moving on. So now we've gone long enough to where we're starting to feel like that I want a fairy. We're starting to like opposing teams are starting to like dip into like the tier 3s here. There's some good fairies in tier 3. But if it drops to tier 4 and we still don't have a fairy, we have very few options, so we kind of put a priority this round on getting ourselves a fairy. And to be honest, completely shocked that the one we got dropped this far, but I'm happy to have it. It is the best, undisputed best Gen 7 starter, and if you disagree, you're dead to me. It's the Bay, the only one that matters. It's freaking Primarina. She's the best of all time. Don't you even argue, okay? Berita is God, all right? 80 HP, which is pretty good. 126 special attack, which is great. 116 special defense, Special defense, which is great. And I believe, I didn't write this down, I believe it's got 60 speed. Nothing crazy there, but it exists. Obviously, Torrent will be its only ability. Its hidden ability is Liquid Voice, which honestly is not that good anyway, but it's unreleased, so it doesn't matter. Attacks, Hydro Pump and Scald, both big. Sparkling Aria, not a thing I care about. Moonblast, Ice Beam, and Blizzard. Energy Ball, Psychic, and Shadow Ball. Why in the world is this thing's moveset so good? The world may never know. No idea. Why Energy Ball? Why Psychic? Why Shadow Ball? Who knows? I don't care. I'll take it. This thing's spec set is ridiculous. It also gets Encore. Really interesting attack, especially if it's combo with Dugtrio, and kind of an area where an opponent, I Encore them into something stupid and then trap them with Dugtrio, and it gives Dugtrio maybe a free chance to set up Home Claws or Substitute before killing something. Kind of hard to pull off. Depending on what I Encore them, most people will probably want to switch out instantly. God, I keep coughing. But if it works, it'll be pretty interesting. Gets Work Up, meh. Light Screen and Reflect, which is actually pretty interesting, actually gets Amnesia as well. Probably things we're not going to run. I fully expect to run specs almost every single time they run this. But there could be things we could do otherwise. Supreme Arena, as previously mentioned, does complete the Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Scizor and Zygarde, which makes us a very, very solid core. Supreme Arena, 126 special attack, hits like a truck. You throw specs on this thing, their switches don't exist. Seriously, you figure something like Decidueye is grass, and really specially bulky, and a Specs Hydro Pump almost 2 taps it. It's actually insane how strong it is. Its moveset is insanely good. I don't get it. I don't get why it's so good. I don't get where it gets Energy Ball from. I don't get where it gets Psychic from. I don't get where it gets Shadow Ball from. But I'm taking it, and I'm running with it. Just like Thunderous, we can take this thing, and we can make sure its moveset is optimized to the opposing 11 Pokemon perfectly, and we can run the perfect set that absolutely just dumps on the opposing team almost every single time. As long as the opponent isn't running something ridiculous like Chansey, who was undrafted by the way, or Blissey, or some kind of over-the-top special wall like that, there's pretty much no way they're going to have an answer to Primarina. We'll bring it in. I'll bring it in favorable matchups and just go ahead and smash things with this attacks. That's going to be really, really fun to use. Primarina is the best Gen 7 starter. Don't you argue with me, boys. My favorite. Love it on the team. Like I said, really shocked to see it drop as far as it did. I really thought Primarina would go in like the top 2 or 3 rounds. But it did drop a little bit, and I'm definitely happy to see it drop to me, and we're taking it. So now we're getting into the lower rounds. I think we're 6 picks in. Yeah, over halfway done. We only got 11 picks, so over halfway done. So we're going into the bottom of the draft, or the second half of the draft at this point. So now the picks are should be getting a little bit weaker. The Pokemon on this side are not going to be quite as strong as what we've already gotten. Obviously, it's how the drafts go, but you got to get good value here. And to be honest, I really, really think that all the picks we got coming up here are all insane value. And that starts off with a tier 2 pick that also dropped pretty far, and that is going to be Azelf. So Azelf is obviously one of the members of the Lake Trio. He is undisputably the best one, to me anyway. 115 speed, which is really, really good, and 125 to both of its attacks. Something a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people just kind of look at Azelf's special attack and just assume that it's a special attacker only. Not the case. 125 to both. It's got solid movesets on both sides. It can do either or very well. It gets Psyshock and Psychic, Thunderbolt and Thunder, Shadow Ball, Flamethrower and Fire Blast, Energy Ball, Charge Beam, Dazzling Gleam, Signal Beam, U-Turn, Zen Headbutt, all 3 Elemental Punches, Thunder, Ice, and Fire, Explosion, lol, Knockoff, and Power Up Punch. What? What is that? Look at all those moves, dude. He gets Nasty Plot, wow, Calm Mind, great, Taunt, Fast Taunt, Reflect and Light Screen, Light Clay, yes, Thunder Wave, Team Support, Stealth Rocks, why not, Trick, how about we cripple some walls? What? This thing is so good. In fact, I knew Azelf was a god. I love Azelf to death. I really do. But when I drafted Azelf and I go and I'm looking up on its Bulbapedia page and jotting down stats, and I'm jotting down moves that it gets, and the more I jot down, the more I'm just staring at the screen going, why did I not know this thing was this good? Its movesets, it's insane. The amount of the amount of things that Azelf can do is ridiculous. It's insane offensively, both sides. Special, physical, great. Better special attacker, admittedly. Better moveset there, and Nasty Plot, plus Calm Mind. Definitely better special attacker, but a very solid physical attacker as well. Anti-lead with Taunt, Stealth Rocks, Explosion. It can actually be semi-defensive. This thing is actually crazy. It is one of the most diverse Pokemon in existence, and I had no idea that it was as versatile as it really is. Azelf is going to be Pokemon that we're probably going to be running most weeks just because of how versatile it is. And as I keep saying, Draft League. In regular battles, you kind of just got to pick the 4 moves that work best for your team and go like that. But when you're running in a Draft League and you know that the opponent is locked into 11 Pokemon, it is so very easy with a move pool as large as Azelf's is, one of the largest in the game, to be honest. You can pick and choose the perfect moveset every single week to ensure that the opponent has little to no answer for what you're bringing, and that is such a really good feeling. Like I said, you're looking for really good value this late. This is halfway through the draft, and Azelf is actually one of the better picks on the team. Well, maybe not on my team, but it's one of the better picks in the draft, and I was really, really happy to get it. Like I said, when we picked it, I just thought of it as being, I knew it was good, but I didn't realize how good it actually was. I didn't do my research, and I was pleasantly surprised at how good this thing is. I cannot wait to use him. Very excited. Azelf going to be a huge deal for the team. Moving on. So at this point, honestly, the one thing I wanted now, or the 2 things, I wanted a fire type and I want a grass type. Other than that, I really felt like that the team was really good and that we didn't really have to worry about too much. We already have the Fairy Dragon Steel core going. If we get the Fire and Grass type like I want, we get the the Fire, Water, Grass core going as well. So those are the only 2 things we're looking out for. Other than that, we're just kind of looking for good Pokemon in the tiers they're in. We figured there was enough fire types left on the board to where we didn't have to prioritize it just yet, so we decided not to, and instead we went ahead and picked a really good Pokemon here, a tier 4 mon that could be a really good sleeper Pokemon, and that Pokemon is going to be Swellow. So first and foremost about Swellow here is its special attack buff. Its special attack now is 75. Now I know that's not good. In fact, it's pretty bad. But it's a big difference from, I believe, the 51. It used to be a pretty large buff. 24, I would say, yeah, 24 special attack difference, which is actually insane. He's got an 85 attack stat, which is also kind of bad. But he's got 125 speed, which is crazy. That attack stat is kind of low, but it means nothing because he gets Guts. He also gets Scrappy. So this thing is actually going to be pretty big for the team. I'm very excited to use it. His moveset is Brave Bird, Facade for the Gut set, Quick Attack for that priority, gets U-Turn, very fast U-Turner, Reversal is very good. Pursuit Trapping, Steel Wing if I'm fearing those fairies. And then on its special side, it gets Boom Burst, and then it gets Boom Burst again, and then who cares? It also gets Air Slash, Heat Wave, but it gets Boom Burst, and that's all I care about. It also gets Sky Attack, which at base value doesn't seem very good, but can have uses. And it also gets Endeavor as well, which is obviously a very good set combined with Quick Attack. He gets Workup, good attack, or good move. It gets Agility, which I'm never going to run. It gets Roost, which is probably irrelevant. It gets Tailwind, which will be really nice. And the one thing I'm most interested in here, actually, is the not banned Z Mirror Move. So, for those of you who don't know, Z Mirror Move is stupid. First and foremost, it copies the opponent's attack and uses it. Not crazy, that's what Z Mirror Move does. But, not only does it take whatever move the opponent used and change it into the Z move variant of that. So if they use whatever, Thunderbolt, it changes the move into Gigavolt Havoc, okay? Which makes the power insane. And it boosts his attack by 2. That's insane. So even if we don't get like a relevant Z move there, we get a +2 boost instantly on top of the fact that he's already insanely fast. And then what's going to happen when we start smashing the opponent with like with like Brave Bird in return at +2? That's insane. I can't wait to use Z move. We're going to run that 100%. We're running Z move this season. Don't know how often because we got a lot of Z move potential on this team, but 100% that's going to be a thing. Like I said, this thing leaves a lot to be desired in terms of stats, like Dugtrio, but you got to look at other things. It's not always about stat pools when you look into a Pokemon. I've said this a lot. Clefable and Oros was one of the was maybe the best Pokemon in the entire tier and had one of the lowest stat pools in all of OU. So you don't really look at stat pools. Just like Dugtrio, though, Swallow does have the limited one, but what it really brings to the table is two really, really good abilities and excuse me, I'm dumb. An admittedly limited move pool, but one that does a lot of work, especially the Gut set with Facade and especially Specs Boom Burst with Scrappy, making him hit like an absolute truck. And of course, if all else fails, and I don't feel like we can do anything else with him, Sash, Endeavor, Quick Attack. How easy is that? It guarantees an automatic kill on almost everything in the entire game because of Scrappy. The only things that can't be stopped by it are things immune to priority. So, Tapu Lele, Serena, Bruxish, whoever else. There's other people. There might be other ones. But things immune to priority wouldn't stop it. But nothing else will because of Scrappy. I can Endeavor any Pokemon literally to 1 health and then Quick Attack it. GG, no re, I win. So it could pick up really big kills on certain Pokemon. We'll see how it goes. But it's going to be a good mod for the team. Definitely happy to have it. So like I said, we're looking into fire and grass types here. And we didn't feel like that we could hold off on the fire pick any longer. We knew that we could hold off the last round because there's so many left. But a lot of the fire type Pokemon we were looking at did get drafted after I took Swallow. So there were limited options left in Tier 4, so we decided we had to jump into that and grab one. And I felt like we got a really good one, and that good one is going to be Magmortar. Definitely a really, really good Pokemon. He's got 75 HP, 95 attack, which is really good, 125 special attack, which is good as well, 95 special defense, and 83 speed, which is definitely solid. He gets Flame Body, which is annoying at best, and Vital Spirit, just in case I run into opposing, like if the opponent has like, you know, a Mungus or some cheese, right? And I'm like, ugh, you can run Vital Spirit. Can't score with bro. He gets Flamethrower and Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, Psychic, Focus Blast, and he gets Solar Beam. Now, that sounds dumb, but need I remind you that Z moves are a thing, and he can run Z Solar Beam, which turns into Bloom Doom, which is incredibly powerful and covers water types really well. On the physical side, because he does have a solid 95 attack, he actually gets way more physical attacks and special attacks. He gets Flame Charge, which is a really good setup move. Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, not Ice Punch though, obviously. Earthquake, Rock Slide, Flare Blitz, Mach Punch, because meh. Power Up Punch, Iron Tail, which is weird because his tail's fire. So how it turns into iron is beyond me. And he gets Low Kick as well. He also gets Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, and a very interesting, also potential Z move, Belly Drum. Also not banned. So we can run a Belly Drum set. Maybe. Not saying we will, but it's possible. So Magmortar is an absolute steal as the 9th pick. Way late in the draft here. It's crazy that we're able to get something that I feel is this good this late. So for starters here, obviously he provides the fire type. We needed that hard. He provides the best, so far the best fire coverage on the team to pair well with Scizor because he can't be Will-O-Wisp or any of that cheese. He takes fire type attacks really well. He could be Leftovers or Assault Vest to even further that. And of course this thing just provides insane offensive pressure. 125 special attack, modest, specs, Fire Blast. Good luck. That's all I gotta say. Good luck. If you don't have like a fire immunity or like the bulkiest fire type switching of all time, you're gonna take damage and you're gonna take a lot of it. He gets access to that Flame Charge, which can be very, very deceptively good if the opponent doesn't feel like he's a threat speed-wise. Doesn't even have to be on a physical set. Could be just a full special set, timid, you know, running Flame Charge. If I can get a Pokemon on a switch, or maybe a Pokemon with really low health, and finish off with Flame Charge for the kill, all of a sudden, he's a lot faster than you expected. 83 speed plus 1 is almost as fast as Mega Alakazam. It's a little bit faster than Mega Beedrill and a little bit faster than Mega Sceptile. But I don't believe it's actually faster than 150, but it's still very, very fast. So it's something that we can definitely catch people off guard with at times. And of course, we can, just like Empoleon, we can run a physical set if need be. He does have the moveset for it. We can run that Flame Charge. We can run Earthquake, Flare Blitz, Thunder Punch. He's got those moves. He's got the moves that really make him a good attacker. And of course, like I said before, he's got that ability to run Z moves, both Solar Beam and Belly Drum are both very good. And of course, you get the obvious, just like Z fire attacks or whatever, you know, whatever I feel like he needs. Definitely good Pokemon. Definitely a lot of offensive pressure. Definitely happy to have him on the team. So we're down to our last 2 picks here, and we're pushing through this. Thank you guys for sticking around this long. I know this has been pretty meh. This has been pretty meh with all the coughing and the sniffling and all that crap. Thank you guys for sticking through. I appreciate it. So 2 more to go. We still do need that grass type, but the grass types that Reiki and I were looking at were pretty much all tier 5. There wasn't really a tier 4 grass type left that I was really super interested in. So I figured that with this pick, we could go ahead and take our final free pick and make it a tier 4, and then we could save our grass pick for tier 5. So that's exactly what we did, and we dove into tier 4 one last time, and picked up a Pokemon that's going to be a huge asset to the team. But to be honest, he's pretty trash, because he's Garbodor. Kappa! Lol! Sorry, I'll see myself out. Garbodor, though, really good Pokemon. Really insane value pick. Again, not something I'm taking in the first half of the draft, obviously, but when you're figuring this is the second to last pick of our draft, so very good. Something that dropped very far in the draft, I felt like Garbodor could have been more of a mid-round 6 to 7, maybe 8th round pick, but to see it drop all the way to 10 kind of surprised me. I think a lot of people just think this thing's stupid looking and it's not good, but that's just not the case. Garbodor is actually very good. 80 HP, which is good. 82 to both defenses, which is good. 95 attack, which is also good. And 75 speed, which doesn't sound good, but can actually be very interesting. He gets Gunk Shot, Drain Punch for really good recovery, Seed Bomb, Rock Blast, Body Slam, Clear Smog for hazard, or for not hazards, but for setup mods, and Explosion for good measure. He gets Spikes and Toxic Spikes, Stockpile if you want to boost with defenses, Amnesia because why not. He gets Curse because why not. He gets Haze also for setup sweepers in case they happen to be Steel type. Pain Split for more recovery. And how about Rock Polish, which I had no idea he got. 75 speed plus 2, very fast by the way. Especially considering that if I'm running like a Life Orb Gunk Shot set, you know, all of a sudden he's super fast with that Rock Polish. Damn, all of a sudden this weird-ass Pokemon's an insanely good offensive Pokemon with a lot of threat. So, like I said, Garbodor, I think, to me, can be one of the, if not the strongest late-round pick in this entire draft. I know that's a bold statement, but I really think it could be a crazy super pick. Obviously, like I said, very well known for his ability to be just an incredible nuisance with Toxic Spikes and Spikes. Set up those hazards, be incredibly bulky with the Stockpile, with the Amnesia, with the Curse, be able to dish out solid damage, running Gunk Shot, poison things, stick around with its Pain Split and its Drain Punch, deal massive damage with a normal Gem Explosion, which is legal. But like I said, if I can catch somebody off guard, hit up that Rock Polish, all of a sudden they got this big trash bag dominating their team because they don't have the speed left to handle it, and he's just completely obliterating things with Gunk Shot. Can definitely deal a lot of chip damage. That'll be this thing's main role all season. Chip things poison them, spike them, gunk shot them, drain punch them, explosion, body slam and paralyze them, keep them from setting up. This thing will be doing that kind of stuff all year and helping me set up other kills and set up sweeps with my other setup Pokemon. Definitely a good pick. Definitely happen to have on the team. And like I said, for as late as it is, insane. Definitely an insane pick for this late in the draft. Super excited about it. And that leaves us with just one, guys. As I already said, it is a grass type. It will round out our Fire Water Grass core. And despite the fact that in Tier 5, like I said before, when you're going into the lower tiers, Tier 4 and Tier 5 specifically, you're really just looking for value because Pokemon in these tiers aren't necessarily insane. That's why they're so low. You know, a lot of them are underwhelming a lot of the time, but you're looking for value, for things that can really support your team and be very good Pokemon in general. And I really do feel like that we got one of the better Pokemon in the in Tier 5. That Pokemon is going to be Leafeon. And Leafeon's going to do a lot of stuff for us this year. I really like him. 65 HP, which is admittedly pretty low, but he's got 110 attack, which is very good. A crazy 130 defense, which is very, very good. And he's got a 95 speed, which is also very, very good. Probably the only ability we'll see him running this season is Chlorophyll. I'm not saying we're going to run him as a Chlorophyll set as a Sun Sweeper. We might run that once or twice, but he definitely has the option to do it. He gets Leaf Blade, X Scissor, Knock Off, Iron Tail, Retaliate, which is a pretty interesting attack, very, very strong, and Natural Gift. Interesting move. He gets Swords Dance and Synthesis, Curse. He gets Wish, admittedly a low Wish pass since his HP stat's pretty bad, but it's there. He also gets Heal Bell, making him literally our only team cleric, and he gets Sunny Day, which means he can set up his own Chlorophyll if he wants. So, Leafeon will round out the draft for us in a huge way. Its ability to be both a great physical attacker and a great physical wall will help us immensely this season. It is our best Earthquake switch-in because all of our immunities are semi-frail. It's a very, very good cleanup sweeper with its solid attack and its solid speed, along with its really good defense, allowing it to take hits from certain certain faster Pokemon, allowing it to do tremendous chip damage to a lot of Pokemon and secure kills that would otherwise be difficult. And I said this, he gets Natural Gift. So if you're not aware of what Natural Gift is, it's a very, very interesting move, and for the most part, it's pretty irrelevant in regular battling, but again, in a draft league format, when you know the opposing team beforehand, or at least, you know, what the Pokemon they're allowed to run, Natural Gift can be pretty interesting. So what it does is I actually ran it last year on Gyarados, the very last week when I actually lost the semifinals to Vamp. You put a specific berry on your Pokemon and as the held item, and Natural Gift, depending on the berry, will become a very, very powerful attack of different types. And typically it's base 100 power. So Leafeon will actually be able to run a random berry and all of a sudden have a base 100 physical fire, electric, ice, you know, whatever attack, that all of a sudden is like, wait, what happened? Because he can all of a sudden pick up a kill, you know? I'll use last year's example, Ferrothorn. It's a Wattmel berry, which turns the attack into a base 100 physical fire attack. So if like my opponent has like Ferrothorn, and it sees Sylveon, and it's or not Sylveon, excuse me, it sees Leafeon, it's like, not a threat, I can handle this. All of a sudden, Natural Gift, Wattmel berry, you got one tapped. All of a sudden, huge threat, huge wall down. Something to be very, very interesting. Something I'm very, very happy to have. And of course, Leafeon's just be a great Pokemon overall for us. Like I said, he's got good attack, he's got good defense, he's got good speed, solid moveset. He can set up his own sun. And first and foremost for here, he provides a very solid defensive Pokemon for the team. with that 130 defense and the ability to synthesis up when it takes damage. Going to be a very good Pokemon. And as a last round pick, very, very good one. Very, very, very good Pokemon to pick with the final pick in the draft for me. I'm definitely happy to have him on the team. So, that's it for the draft. That's it. I'm going to make this ending a little bit short and sweet because this was hard on me. I'm not going to lie. This was pretty hard on me with the cold and the wanting to cough and all that stuff. So it was pretty hard on me. So thank you guys for tanking through the entire time. I don't know how long this video was. I'm sure it was pretty long. But I thank you guys for tanking through it and checking it all out. Through the coughing, through the sniffling, through the drinking of water. I appreciate it very much, guys. But I am very, very excited about this season. I really do feel like we have an insane draft this season. The combo of Mega Scizor and Zygarde is going to be insane. Thunderous is going to be insane. The entire roster is just very, very good in general. I feel like I think we'll get a lot of use out of everything. There will definitely be Pokemon that we don't run a ton. I'm not going to say we're going to run all the Pokemon like 7-8 times. You know, there might be a couple Pokemon that you only see once or twice, maybe 3 times. But when we do run the Pokemon, I feel like every time we run a Pokemon that it will be able to put in work and help us win. And this season, we are going for the championship. It is title or bust. Last season, we lost in the semis. We don't plan on doing that this year. We're going all the way, I hope. And we're going to take home that Season 3 championship for the NPA. That would be absolutely phenomenal. I'd love it. So again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you all are hyped for Season 3 of the NPA. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't done so yet. We will be doing team builders every week, just like last season, along with the videos themselves. So I hope you guys are hyped for that. The actual week 1, I believe, is 18th. I think week 1's the 18th. So actually 1 week away now. So that's going to be absolutely hype. Cannot wait. Hope you guys are excited as I am. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in week 1 of NPA Season 3. I don't know what I was going for there. I kind of just cut myself off. Thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys in week 1, alright? Alright, peace, Ramen Nation. See ya.